Calumet County is located just east of Lake Winnebago and is bordered by the Niagara Escarpment to the north. It's populated with vibrant rural communities that appreciate the beauty of Wisconsin's 4 seasons. And in the spring, when flowers begin to bloom, you really start to notice the colors of Calumet County. Here at Honeymoon Acres, you will find hundreds of cultivated and native garden species. The greenhouses are like Calumet County's own botanic gardens. Owners Joe and Marcy McShaw have owned and nurtured this business for nearly 40 years with extensive knowledge of horticulture and a personal desire to add a little beauty to the world.
We don't do a lot of other things but plants. That is, I think, what people notice. People like to see a place that has good quality and a place that actually knows about the plants. We see these from little tiny cuttings to when they're grown up and they're leaving. So they're all like children to us, and we have to have them find homes. Spring is a short season for people, so they're very anxious to get plants. Annuals are the big thing. Some people thrive on perennials, which are plants that come back every year, but perennials don't give you color all year round. A lot of times you have to pick and choose when things bloom and when things are going to take over a garden as to what you put in there. I really do like sun coleus. They're one of my favorites. Even though there's no flowers on them, they'll give you color all year round. They could be anywhere from red to bright lime green and anything in between. People always ask me for information, and I say, some of it's personal choice. You know, you have to know what you like. Let yourself just do whatever. If you make a mistake, you got next year to worry about it. It's very fulfilling for people. They call it their happy place when they go out in their yards and gardens, because that's what they like to do. When they get home from working and they want to just relax, a lot of people go out and fulfill their hearts with plants.
In the summer, Mother Nature shows off her own color palette. The flowers grow wild here at the prairies of Ledgeview Nature Center.
This is so gorgeous, and I had no idea that this was here, so I'm so happy to discover it today.
Yeah, the prairie here at Ledgeview really is beautiful at this time of the year.
So tell me about this gorgeous prairie.
The prairie here at Ledgeview is about 40 years old. It's been hand planted. It was formerly agricultural land. We manage it by burning every 3 to 4 years to keep the species diversity here. We have an assortment of native grasses and forbs, which are the wildflowers that you can see here in the background. All these flowers are native to Wisconsin. You can see the purple ones here are the purple coneflowers, the gray-headed coneflower or prairie coneflower, and the little purple ones in the back are showy tick trefoil. We have a beautiful trail here that goes around the prairie. It meanders. It kind of encourages a slow saunter, if you like, to appreciate the flowers. We also have a 60-foot observation tower. You can enjoy the prairie from above, see the mosaic of different colors. We do guided painting classes or workshops from time to time, and oftentimes they are focused around painting wildflowers. The peak bloom period here on the prairie at Ledgeview would be about the middle of July through to the middle of August most years. We have about 80 acres of woodland here, so it's quite spectacular as the trees change colors in the fall, and then moving into winter it's carpeted with snow and it's white and gray, which is beautiful in itself. You can see the sculptural seed heads here on the prairie during the winter, which feed the birds. And then as the spring comes on, everything wakes up and starts to become green again.
Calumet County has some unique artwork that colors its landscape. Have you heard of barn quilts? They've become quite popular throughout farming communities in Wisconsin, and each quilt has its own story.
The barn is not quite 100 years old, but it's up there. When we bought it, the northwest corner of the barn was just gone. All the stones had deteriorated, and we thought, well, if we're going to have animals, we better have a closed barn. And over the years, we decided that we needed to do something with the boards. We re-nailed the whole barn, and that still was a problem. The other option was spending the money to put tin on the barn. As we were ending the last side of the barn, the local newspaper had a story about quilts. What is a barn quilt? Why do you have it? What colors can you use? And I said to my husband, you know, we need a barn quilt. I found the tulip in one of my quilt books. That's my favorite flower, so that's gonna be it. But then I didn't stop there. I did have a quilt pattern for a baby crib, and it was a lamb. Well, of course we're gonna have to have a lamb quilt. I showed that to the girls and they just loved it, and so we ended up with 2 quilts being made. Mary and Dan Clausen probably did most of the quilts in Calumet County. The lady was a math teacher. What better than someone who is an expert in geometry? She was so particular. It had to be perfect. This couple went ahead and painted the quilt for me and brought it on out. At the same time, the carpenters are putting on the last sheets of tin, and I'm saying, oh, would you mind hanging a couple of quilts? And they said, well, we've never put a quilt on the barn before. And I said, let's go for it. So they did. They put up the quilts, and I love them. I just love them. They have their own personality. Our neighbor to the south has the 4 and 20 blackbirds. And it's really hard to select one that you really, really like. They're all beautiful because it's people's personal choice. And that's the beauty of it. It's so nice just to be able to drive around and see these different quilts. They're different patterns, they're different colors. It has made Calumet County stand out just in one more way.